Here is a short wellness snack from a recent WellWaveNOW conversation. One insight you can apply to your health.
There are 12 categories in the what are called hallmarks of aging. And this is the technical structure that we think about sort of scientifically. How do we approach aging? And there are three main categories called primary, antagonistic, and integrative. Mitochondrial dysfunction, a very popular topic. Your mitochondria, the power plants of the cells, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Cellular senescence, the cell is getting old. What does it do when it gets old? Your gut microbiome screwed up. The cellular communication doesn't work like it used to. And then lastly, you've got stem cells that don't do what they used to do. So that's a whole bunch of different stuff, all of which contributes to whether or not you're ending up where you want to be ending up, which is, I guess you could say, not getting older. With that, each of those categories are very specific targets that we can use to figure out what's going wrong, what's going right, where can we actually target so that we can make a difference.
Thanks. You went through the systems there. If one of those are off, do the others start to compensate? Do the others?
So I like to say the hip bone's connected to the knee bone, right? So everything is connected always. In fact, one of the main drivers is often the failure of one system to talk to another system. So on the chart, we call that altered intracellular communication. So there are numerous types of communication signals, right? Everyone knows about hormones. That's the endocrine system. But there are nearly a dozen different systems responsible for getting everyone in the system to talk to each other and to be on the same page. So redox signaling, for example, deteriorates over time and is responsible for much of that intercellular information flow. The cell next to you needs to know what it's doing. Think about a flock of birds. They're all flying next to each other. Well, how is that? Well, this guy's talking to this guy, and this guy's talking to the next guy, and everybody sort of communicates effectively with the guy next to him. But the guy who's like way over there doesn't know what I'm doing until you make that progression. Redox signal. So everybody's probably heard of redox of nitric oxide. That's a redox signal. It happens to be a nitrogen molecule and an oxygen molecule tied together, or rather a nitrogen atom, oxygen atom tied together into one molecule. And yet it's the main driver in blood pressure control, has an impact on immune function, learning, and memory. There are supplements that can support redox signaling, and by supplementing those signals, we can improve mitochondrial function. We can see effects on immune function, sort of direction of inflammatory responses, and overall enhance metabolic function. That's a target that really impacts all of those systems.